Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today. My name is Sherilyn, and today I'm going to be talking about social media marketing to reach new customers. I'm actually part of a company called Sher Consults, which is a digital marketing consulting company that I started. And I also do training as well as coaching. So I have several aspects to my business. And I will talk about that a little bit when I talk about how to use digital marketing to actually highlight the different parts of the business. So I'm very excited to be with all of you here today. And hopefully you'll find this session helpful and useful for your businesses. So let's get started. So what we're going to be talking about today is, firstly, we're going to be talking about why is social media marketing so important, especially for your business. Then we're going to go into a little bit about what kind of audience you should be targeting and what kind of content you can post to actually target your audience. After that, we're going to talk about the different social media platforms, which one you can potentially focus on, the different target audiences for each of these social media platforms. And I'll go specifically into 3 different platforms and what kind of tips you can use specifically for those platforms. And finally, we'll end with some key takeaways and next steps that you can take for your business. So why is social media marketing so important? As the data has shown, as of end of last year, Malaysians actually spent 3 hours on social media. That's quite a number. In total, people spend almost 9 hours in a day that online. That's already a third, more than a third of your day. 8 hours you dedicate for work, 8 hours for sleep, and then the rest of that you actually use to be online. And a third out of the time that you used to be online, you're actually on social media. So what does that mean for you as a business? It means that your potential customers are spending a lot of time on social media. So you want to appear where your customers are. As a business, you want to be where your customers are, right? You want to meet them where they are. You want to remind them that this is the business that they want to engage in. You want to let them know that your business is out there and it can solve a potential problem that they have, or it can satisfy a need that they have. That's why it's so important for your business to be on social media and to maintain a social media presence, because that's where your potential customers are. And when you think about it, when you're a new business, for example, in the age of the pandemic, a lot of people are laid off, but there's also a lot of people trying to start their own businesses. How do people know your business is legitimate? For example, if you wanted to start a facial care company, right? And you set up you want to start selling products to your consumers, and they want to buy from you, and they're intrigued. They're like, oh, this is an interesting story. Seems like I trust the founder, but how can I really trust this company? So when you maintain a social media presence, it is one way for customers to validate your company, which means that they can be assured that this is a company that exists. Some people will go into a little bit more detail later on how you can utilize these tips to actually focus on your business and highlight your products. But it is maintaining a social media presence often can provide confidence to new customers when they want to engage with new businesses. Okay. Now, so how do you build your online presence? Given that we know now customers are online, your potential customers are online, how exactly do you make sure that you arrive there? So the first thing before we even determine what social media platform we want to use, because there are so many out there, and we'll go into that in a bit, the first thing to decide is who exactly is your target audience, right? So target audience means the people that you're targeting with your online presence. They are mostly your customers, but some of your customers may not be online. So we're talking about the people who are actually going to be online on social media that you could potentially target. That's what we mean by target audience. The second thing we're going to do is then we decide. Now we know who our target audience is. What kind of platform should we choose to have a presence in? There are so many. You have YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. There are LinkedIn. There are so many that it is very hard for a business to keep up with multiple social media platforms. So once you decide, like, and you know, this is where my target audience is, this is where I want to be. You want to maintain a social media presence where your target audience is. And then finally, you want to look at industry best practices, meaning, what does this term mean? It means look to other accounts and see what are they doing best that you want to do as well. What are your competitors doing? What are large businesses doing with their social media pages, with their Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn? And from there, you're able to derive inspiration to be like, okay, this is what I want for my business. It's very similar content. You have a different story, obviously, but you can take inspiration from your competitors and other companies within the industry. Okay, so a really important point that I want to point out here, because I think a lot of people get this wrong, is that the purpose of social media is to connect with your consumers, not to promote. The main purpose that you have as social media is to connect. If you wanted to promote your business and you didn't want to engage your consumers, then you can put up a billboard. You can do paid advertising, like YouTube ads where you can serve people an ad about your business and how to use your products. So that's one thing, right? You can use ads to promote your business. But social media primarily is to engage your customers, is to inspire them, is to inform them. And we'll go into a little bit about what types of content you should be posting. But essentially, the main purpose of social media is to engage. That's why your consumers can like, they can comment, and they can share. The reason why is because they can engage with you as a business. That's why social media exists. You must remember that the purpose primarily for social media is so that you can be you have a closer relationship with your consumers. In an ad, they cannot talk to you, they cannot like, they cannot comment, they cannot share. But in social media, you have all that option so that the consumers can actually engage with your business. So very important for your business to actually engage through social media. Now, we're going to be talking about how do you think about your target customer and audience. So one of the first things you can think about is what are their relevant demographics. So if you are a company that actually promotes toys, for example, or educational programs, means you're targeting potential parents as well as kids, right? So that's an example of relevant demographic. What age group are they in? Are they between 18 to 25? Are they 20 to 50? What kind of language do they consume? Or what kind of language do they speak? Or the content that they consume in, what kind of language is that in, right? Do they watch Mandarin videos or Malay videos, things like that? What exactly are their needs? What is a need that your business is solving for them? What kind of benefits are you trying to provide as a business? So for example, if you're a facial care company, right? What kind of need are you solving? Is it psoriasis? Is it acne problem? Or do you just want to provide, organic products for people with sensitive skin? This is a specific niche and a different type of audience than somebody who's actually looking for, just general face care, right? Or something that is a bit more luxury or premium. So understanding what your user needs are and what your business can solve for them can actually help determine this is your target customer and this is your target audience. What are their interests? For example, a person who wants to engage in facial care, what kind of things are they interested in? What kind of hobbies do they have? What kind of information are they looking for? So let's, for example, if I'm a person who's looking for facial care on YouTube, I could be looking at beauty tutorials, for example, which is different. Makeup is different from skincare, but that could be something that I am interested in. I could also be interested in gardening because I'm interested in interior design and lifestyle. So the reason why this is important is because you can potentially put content that is relevant to your target audience, right? If you are, for example, an educational provider and you want to provide education to people, what could these people do? They have lives outside of the immediate need that you are fulfilling, right? So aside from education, what else are they interested in? What else do they look information for? So if your social media page fulfills that need for them and provides information in different ways, they will be more engaged. Finally, what are their behaviors? What are their hobbies? What do they spend their free time doing? What are things that they enjoy outside from just what your business is providing, right? Do I like to paint? Do I like to write? Do I like to watch the news? So all of this can actually help you develop what is called a target persona. So when you have a target persona, which is another word for target audience or target customer, that helps you decide which platform and what kind of content to put on that social media platform. As you can see, there are multiple types of platforms. Okay, so you can see that there is Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube. And as I said, there's more depending on the region that you're operating in. Pinterest has a larger user base, I think, in Indonesia than it does in Malaysia, or Snapchat is more used in the US rather than here. And if you're in China, you have to make sure you're on Douyin, which is, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but it's basically a similar is a similar platform to TikTok, but and owned by the same company. But essentially, it's another social media platform. So I'm focusing on these five because they are the major ones that are being used in Malaysia, which I think most of the participants are from. But in any event, these are the major players in the market, especially in ASEAN. So remember when I talked about think about your target audience and what relevant demographics there are. This is also where you want to focus on, this is how you determine which social media platform to be used. So if you look at Facebook, it's about 30 to 60. If it's younger, like 13-year-olds onwards, that would be TikTok. But if you look at Instagram, technically 18-year-olds and above are using them. I would say that technically people under 18 are also using Instagram. So don't exclude Instagram if you're targeting below 18. It's just that the rules of Facebook is that you have to be above a certain age to use them. LinkedIn and YouTube are mostly also 18 and above. So if you're using, so why is this information relevant? If you're targeting a younger audience, make sure you're on TikTok and Instagram. If you're an older audience, you might want to focus on the other social media platforms. And understanding what kind of content, in what format do these social media platforms promote is also very important because it's important for your business. So Facebook and LinkedIn, they do a lot of longer form content. So if you have articles, blogs, you can post them and people will read, right? But if you look at Instagram, it's primarily a photo first app. It's a visual app, right? So people focus more on the photo than they do on the caption. And TikTok is the same. TikTok and YouTube, they are both video platforms, which means that people watch videos, but TikTok is very short, right? Under 15 seconds almost, or under 30 seconds. And YouTube is for long form content. You can have an hour, you know, it can be 30 minutes. There's really no limit to how long the content can be. So again, thinking about your target persona, your target audience, what kind of content are they on? What kind of age group are they in, and what kind of different forms of content, right? Is it short video, long video, or longer articles? And understanding what the platform is usually used for is also very important. So if you look at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, they're mainly entertainment. They can be used for inspiration. They can be looked for connecting with people as well. So all of those social media platforms are very different. They're used more for entertainment, inspiration, and connection. But LinkedIn is used mainly for professionals. So people go on LinkedIn because they want to network with other people. But that could be a very good way to network and to look for customers, especially if you are a B2B company, right? So you're not B2C, you don't cater to customers, but you do cater for businesses. So LinkedIn could be a very good service for you. Or if you're a recruiting agency, that could be something you want to look into because you want to look for more candidates on LinkedIn, because that's what people use LinkedIn for, is also to look for jobs. So tying back to understanding your first, what we talked about was your target customer and target audience, understanding their demographics, their activities, what do they enjoy to do, what problem are you solving for them, and couple that with understanding what the different platform features are. Then you can decide, okay, now I know my target audience, now I know which platform actually matches my target audience. This is where I want to put my content. So as a business, you can pick 2 to 3 social media platforms that you can choose to focus on. Now, if you remember what I mentioned before, social media is to engage and not just to promote. So there are different types of content that you can post on your social media platform. Now that you've determined your target audience, you've determined what platform you want to go on. Now let's look at what type of content you can provide. So there are different types of content. And one of the first things you can put about is information. So the purpose, again, you want to engage your customer, you want to inform them. What you choose to inform them on is on your own. You can choose them to inform on your business. You can say this is behind the scenes, this is the story about my business, but I would say that's still tied to your business. You can even serve to be an information piece for any related news. For example, if you find that you're in the food industry and now the MCO procedures have changed, you want to tell them actually, oh, now restaurant dine-ins are only from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that is something that you can inform them, meaning the MCO has been announced. These are the changes. So that's choosing to inform and be useful to your user and your target customer. Okay. Secondly, you can also post inspirational content. People go to social media sometimes as a release, sometimes as a break, and they want to be inspired. A lot of the videos, if you watch on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram, they want to be inspired. They want to see something that uplifts them, that is engaging. So it, provides a lightheartedness to their day. And you can choose to repost that too. You can choose some options to post about inspirational material about other people's businesses, hope during the pandemic, things like that. Another one is fun and entertaining. So again, people go on social media for various sorts of reasons, and fun is one of them. They go there because they want to be entertained, they want to find something funny, something dramatic, like a break from their day, right? So you can actually post something that is fun and entertaining to engage your customer. And finally, one of the pillars is business. And this is where you promote your business. A lot of the clients I work with actually focus mainly only on business. They only think about using their social media page to promote their business. But again, as I reminded before, it is mainly to engage, and promotion only comes as a part of it. Now, I'm going to give you an example that I worked with my client who was basically an education provider, okay? And that one of the target audiences are parents. So what kind of example content can this education provider provide to parents? And I'm going to use these 4 pillars to demonstrate that example. I would invite for you to think about your target audience, thinking about how you can use these 4 pillars to actually post different content to appeal, engage, entertain your customer. So one of the first things is actually preparing tips, right? Preparing inspiration and news and that are relevant to schools. For example, if you have with the schools here, there was a lot of information about opening of schools, the SOP around the opening of schools, or e-learning, things like that. So that could be very informational, right? Just how to use a tablet, how to use Zoom for education, how to help teach your kid at home. That's informational. That's going to help the parents, not directly related to their business, which is they provide alternative programs to schools, but they are providing very useful tips towards their consumers. Inspiration. What could be a feel-good family photo, right? Something they could post on Instagram, or even a video of a child, waving to a postman who dances with her every day during the pandemic. So this is a family-oriented content because their target user is again parents, but again, nothing to do with their business, but something that is inspirational, makes them feel good, some feel-good material during their day. Right? Or even showing a video of parents learning with kids, playing games with kids, giving examples of how they can actually play with their kids. It could even post fun and entertaining stories, right? You could have relatable stories about being a parent, especially during the pandemic, right? homeschooling, juggling work and the home. That's going to be really hard. Posting memes, posting funny stories about parenting. So all of those things have nothing to do with the business, but again, provides very entertaining and fun content for your target customer to relate to. And finally, for the business, you can talk about the benefits of the programs offered. You can talk about upcoming programs. You can feature testimonials from the students and the parents who engage with your organization. So the promotion part and the business part of social media, I think, is a part that everybody can connect with. But I would implore all of you to also think about what other content can you provide to engage your target customer. Okay, so when you now think about what kind of content to provide, think about these 4 pillars. And one particular content can hit 2 pillars. For example, if I provide a testimonial by a student who graduated the program and felt very confident and empowered about herself, that can hit the business pillar and also the inspirational pillar, right? Or if I have one of the teachers actually come on and tell an entertaining story about teaching in school or doing home learning, that's hitting business as well as fun and entertaining. So you don't have to post content just that accommodates to one pillar. The best case scenario would be a content that hits multiple pillars, so it's more efficient. But I think what's important here to remember is that don't just promote your business, engage your customers. Invite them to leave a comment, invite them to submit stories and drop a comment below. Things like that will get people to engage with your business more. Okay, now I'm going to go into what I mentioned before, which is industry best practices. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of how a company, so using the same thread of an education provider, right, targeting parents, how exactly do other companies target parents? Even when their users are the people who use their product are actually different, which are kids, right? So for example, with an education provider, the people who use your service is actually kids, but parents are the one who's paying. So I'm going to go into a few examples about how to target parents. So this is a really good example of a company who actually posted content that was extremely relatable, that was part business, part fun, part inspirational, part informational, right? So this was Lego, and they posted a blog post about how they wanted to relate to parents. So 5 things Lego moms can relate to, right? Oh my gosh, when parents ask me to clean my room. So this meme is very cute, it's fun, and it also reminds them of the product. It promotes Lego as a product because that's why they say Lego moms, right? Not just 5 things moms can relate to. So it's a very clever way to engage their consumers, get their consumers to engage with them, feel inspired, feel happy when they think about Legos. And it's a very great way to promote their business that way. Okay. So another way to also, a company has also decided to engage the parents is directly help them. So this is informational, it is fun. So they actually provided free resources to parents for them to use for their kids. They say, hey, it's Thanksgiving. Crayola is a crayon company, right? So again, kids use the product, but parents pay for it. They say, hey, why don't you print out these printouts and you can ask your kids to color and you can color them with your kids. So they're very smart in using function, to provide a platform for the parents to actually connect with their kids. So it promotes their product in a very indirect way. So again, what is the takeaway from these slides is that look at how you can engage your customers at the same time promoting your business. Look at your competitors, look at different companies and see what they're doing so that you can actually emulate them. Okay, and follow with, you can be like, hey, that's something that I could do with my company too. That's something I can do with my social media. So very good to observe what other companies are doing. Okay. Now, we're going into the tips directly. So the final part of this slide is actually just to show you, these are the specific things you can do with 3 different platforms that you can use to promote your business and to engage your customers. Okay, so with Facebook, the tip here is to post longer form of content. The reason why that's important is because this is really your opportunity to inform, inspire your consumers that can get them to read and be like, oh, this is interesting. I never thought about that. So if you have any articles, for example, your business got promoted in the news, you can post that article there. Or you wrote a blog post, for example. A lot of people, what they're doing now as businesses is that they provide a lot of free content to their consumer. So for example, if I was a facial care product provider, I would actually post articles about how to take care of your skin. Morning routine, night routine, what are the different products, ingredients, what do they mean? So they are indirectly related to my business, and I can promote them on Facebook because they can read. I can post excerpts from the article and people will click on it, you know? So because this feature is unique to Facebook and LinkedIn, with Instagram, it's very, very hard to actually click on a particular link. It's multiple clicks and it's not very intuitive. But with Facebook, it's very easy. The moment the post comes up, you can see the link, you can click on it. So when you have longer form content, post it on Facebook, okay? Set up a community group. So this is a feature that doesn't exist with other platforms, not with TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. So in Facebook, you can actually set up a Facebook group and people can come together, your consumers can come together and connect with each other. And this is very important because it provides promotion for your business. It helps your consumers engage, share stories with each other, share successful stories. And if they have problems, instead of you answering those problems, they can actually find another customer and say, hey, I'm having this problem. Can you help me with this? There was actually a stroller company that supports, they do support actually the Facebook community group. And you can see a lot of mothers there. They will post stories about their strollers, what are the benefits. They post pictures and people like them and then they get excited. So when users have a platform to connect with each other, to engage with each other, to share stories and testimonials, that is very powerful. It increases the strength of your brand and also that people won't leave your brand because they don't just leave your brand now, they will have to leave a community. So don't undermine that very powerful sense of connection. Building a community can be very helpful for your consumers. All right. Set up Messenger auto replies. So what is this? When you set up a Facebook page, which is as an official business on Facebook, what happens is that you can actually use the Messenger tool to actually set up auto replies. So for example, if somebody says, what are your operating hours? You can actually set up an automatic reply that will tell them immediately 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Or what kind of products do you provide? You can actually set an auto reply that says, oh, these are our products, please click here. And you don't have, that means you don't have to manually answer every reply. You can just have auto replies. Okay, so that actually makes your business more efficient and scalable. You can direct your resources and time and energy to focus on other things because your Facebook Messenger will help you deal with basic queries. Okay, so it helps the customers make them feel like you're helpful as a business and their questions get answered, because nobody likes to be left hanging, and you can actually focus on the more important aspects of your business. Okay? Now, how do we use Instagram to our advantage as businesses? So what's really important is to pay attention also to what are the most updated features of that platform, because the algorithm will actually promote that content a lot more. What do I mean by this? A long time before Instagram, IGTV started, they mainly use pictures. Their main core function is still pictures. But after that, soon after YouTube came out, Instagram introduced something called IGTV. So IGTV means you can post long form content, 30 minutes if you want. And then later on, after Snapchat came up with stories, Instagram also came up with stories. So you have stories on Instagram that you can post temporarily. And now the most recent feature, after TikTok became very popular, was Reels. So Reels is now Instagram's way of pushing out their content to get people to be more inspired, more engaged. So what's really important is to pay attention to the trend of what are the new features that are being promoted by social media so that they can actually promote your content as well. So now Reels are more popular. If you keep on posting content on IGTV, it will not push your content out and people new customers won't be able to find you. So make sure you use the most updated feature that they have released to engage your new customers. Okay, use trending and relevant hashtags. So hashtags are basically a way to track your post, to promote your post beyond your current consumers. So for example, if you have something like hashtag Dove, right? Hashtag Dove the brand. So if they were interested in that content and they wanted to find out more about your brand, they will click on that hashtag, and all the posts, all the content that you posted on Instagram will be linked to that hashtag. So then they're able to discover, oh, okay, now there are more videos that I can see, more posts, more content related to Dove, right? So make sure that every content that you post has a hashtag. And if you use a very general hashtag, the benefit is that you can have more people. So for example, with Dove, it can be facial care, body care. So it's not just specific to Dove, right? If you click on the hashtag body care, there'll be so many things. For example, hashtag mental health or hashtag self-care is very popular. And there are many, many contents, many posts about it. But if you get to use a general one, you get to reach more people, right? And if you want to track the success of your content, like say, for example, you say, I want to increase engagement on my social media posts for parents, you can create a special hashtag. And then when you collect information about the social media post, you can say, oh, okay, this is the post that is specifically targeting parents. I want to measure how many likes and engagement and things like that. So use hashtag in every of your social media posts for you to track better. Finally, host takeovers and live stream sessions. So the good thing about Instagram and most social media is that for it to be engaging. You can actually try for it to be, oh, you can actually have behind the scenes by employees. You can actually have a trusted partner or trusted customer actually show testimonials about your product. So what that can do is you can actually have people take over your account. So when people take over your account, it's more engaging. You're like, oh, okay, this is a day in an employee in this company, or this is how the customer actually uses this product. So this is all very engaging content, right? Very organic. It's not forced at all. So I think these are ways in which you can engage your customers. Live stream sessions are another way, right? People can comment, people can react with emojis, you can respond directly to them. So these are different ways in which you can use your platform to reach your customers. Okay. Another feature that is specific to Instagram is something called highlights. And what this means is that these are actually stories that you posted on your Instagram page, which is stories are 24 hours of videos, right? You post them as a story and they expire after 24 hours. But let's say, for example, you don't want these stories to expire, you can actually add them to highlights. How do you use highlights to actually, to the full benefit is that you can highlight different things about your brand. This is my personal, my company's Instagram page. And what I choose to do is that I actually choose to promote the different things that I do. So I do, I Am Remarkable. That is a free self-promotion training that I run. So I put that there. I also do different trainings for social media. And I actually put it under the highlights here. And I also do testimonials. So people who have actually reacted and responded to my trainings online and they tag my business, I can actually add them here. So that's really important as well. When you have highlights, let's say, for example, you sold a product to a consumer and she was so happy that she took an IG story about it. And then she posted it. And then she tagged your business. You don't want that testimony to go away. You're like, oh, that's great. Somebody here has bought my product. She's happy about it. I want other people who visit my Instagram page to see that. So you can put that under highlight, right? So when they click on the highlight, when they land on your page, they're like, oh, what is this highlight about? I want to see what other people have been saying about her. So I then check the testimonials. Okay, so highlights can also be a great way to highlight previous work that you've done, testimonials by your clients, people who have tagged you on social media praising you. Those are things that you want to keep in your highlights for future customers to see. Okay, so finally, how do you connect with customers on YouTube? If you realize that you want to post longer form content, you don't want to be on TikTok or Instagram, how do you do that? Okay. So one of the first things to remember about YouTube is there's actually also something called search engine optimization. What that means is that when people search, for example, if I say how to do morning routines, facial care, right? If I, as a business, another business actually posted that content, they want that content to find me, right? When you type in the search button in YouTube because you want to find a particular content, right? You want your video to actually show up, but you are competing with so many other people who have provided the same content. So how does YouTube actually rank these things? That's what's called search engine optimization. So make sure you put relevant information in the title and the description of the video. So if make sure you put your brand name, make sure you put things like tutorial, how to, unboxing, things like that, right? Testimonial. So these things should be in the description. It should be in the title. So it's very clear, like, oh, morning skincare routine, how to set up your face in the morning, right? How to put on makeup for your day. So these are very keywords, very important keywords to be included in your title as well as your description. Always have branding presence. So I would say that when you run your video, always have a logo either in a mug or on the side of your video, so people know. They're like, oh, okay, I actually realized when I watch this video, I'm like, who is this video by? You don't want that to happen to your consumers. You want them to constantly remember, oh, this is by this company. So maintaining logo presence or at least brand presence is very important for your consumers to recognize your brand. And finally, use what is called enticing thumbnails. So thumbnails basically is the picture that it shows up there when the video is not playing. So people actually get enticed and they want to click on the video more often when your thumbnail is more engaging. So make sure you use engaging pictures, colors, words to describe the video. That's obviously the thing that is taking the most space for people to see. So you want to make sure that your thumbnail is very engaging. Before they even read the title or description, they will see that thumbnail first. So you can, if you can start observing different videos that you watch on YouTube, a lot of them have very big fonts on their thumbnails so that people can understand this is what the video is about. Okay, so key takeaways and next steps, right? Use your social media to engage your customers, not just to promote. The 4 pillars of content, which is inspire, inform, fun, and business. You make sure that you post a variety of content so that you can be useful to your customer, you can engage them, inspire them, and make it entertaining for them, right? Different target audiences use different platforms. Again, if you are targeting a younger audience, then you might want to be on TikTok or Instagram. If you're older, you want to be on Facebook or YouTube. And if it's professional, you want to be on LinkedIn. Different people use different platforms for different reasons. And once you've formatted your target audience and persona, then you can better decide which social media platform you want to be on. And tailor the content to the platform. Again, different platforms have different features. YouTube is longer. Instagram has photos and short videos like Reels. LinkedIn and Facebook uses articles. So make sure you use the full feature that is specific to that platform and use different platforms to promote different types of content. What are the next steps for you as a business? Is that number 1, you can choose which social media can fully serve your business. Again, there are too many social medias to focus on. So I would say choose 2 to 3 for your business and put content on there. And again, remember, think about where your target audience is, where they would go to actually search for information. And that's how you decide where your social media platform is. Determine what your target audience is, making sure that you know what they do, what they like, what demographics they are, and that will actually help you in deciding what kind of content do I want to promote. And try different types of content. Brainstorm different types. You will never know what will engage your customer or your target audience until you try. So definitely try different forms of content, making sure that you track the metrics such as likes and views and clicks so that you actually know that people like your content. Okay? So I would love to hear your thoughts about the session today. Please send in a feedback form. I'm going to leave it here for a few seconds. So please scan it with your phone, and you can take a picture, a screenshot even on your laptop, and then you can scan it on your phone later. So this is a feedback form. I would love to know what worked well for you, what I could improve on, things like that. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I had a great time trying to explain to you guys why social media marketing is important for your business. And so if you'd like to follow me on my social media, I would say follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is called Share Consults. You can also check out my highlights and see a little bit of what I've done there to see what you can do for your business. On my LinkedIn, you can connect with me personally. My name is Sherilyn Ooi. Just put there, watched your social media marketing talk on eBiz. Just let me know in the connect note. And if you would like to check out more of what I do, I have a website called shareconsults.com. You can also sign up for a newsletter there where I will provide free tips on digital marketing and personal development. So thank you so much, guys, for having me. I'm looking forward to connecting with you on either of these platforms. Take care. Bye.
Hi Sherilyn. Hi everyone. Thank you for watching for the session, and we are now in Q&A session. If you have any question for our speakers, you can always go to the Q&A session to drop off your question. So we actually have few questions from our audience. Let's get it started. Hang on, let me get the first question. So we all know and learn from Sherilyn in the past 45 minutes about social media, different type of social media, and how we actually engage with our audience. So one question from the floor is, how do we actually engage with our audience or followers? And how do we actually create engaging posts? Because I think during your session, you actually highlight the engagement part. So would you like to share tips with us?
Sure. Thank you, Zoe. So thank you for the question. I think I'm going to answer first how to create engaging posts, and then secondly, how to engage. So I think when you think about how to create engaging posts, first you have to think about your audience. So you have to think about your customers who are actually surfing your social media. So we developed something called target persona when we're in marketing. So you don't just think about, oh, let's say, for example, you are a florist and you only post content about flowers because you're only promoting your business. Because social media is not just about promoting, you can actually post different types of engaging content which could be related to this customer. So assuming, for example, let's just assume your customer, the target persona, for example, is 25 to 40, a young professional woman who loves to beautify her home. So you can actually post content about interior design, and flowers are posted there. Or this person could be interested in DIY. So you can say, you can post content on how to actually utilize flowers to become potpourri or dried flowers. So I think if you want to create engaging content, you have to first think about your target audience. What do they do aside from engaging with your business? Where do they spend their time on? What hobbies do they have? What behaviors do they have? You can even post fun, cute cat videos if you think that that's something your target audience is interested in. So I think in order to post engaging content, think first about your target audience and think about their behaviors and hobbies, which you can then post content on that could or could not be related to your business. That's the first question. The second question of how do you actually engage with your followers? You like, share, comment. So anytime somebody posts on your YouTube feed or Facebook or Instagram, or they like or they share, so that's how you engage with them, right? So replying comments is very common. So, like their comment, because again, they want to feel like they're engaging with you. You have to acknowledge when they are engaging with your brand. Right. And if somebody posts a negative review, reach out to them and say, hey, how can we make it better as a business? Right. And if people are trolling on your page, make sure that you moderate the content and delete anything that's offensive or hateful. So those are the ways in which you can engage. That's one. Secondly, you can also use stories. And when you use stories, sometimes you can use polls. So polls are questions, like, hey, which flower do you like better? Which content do you like better? So using polls can be very powerful. This can be used in Instagram stories and as well as Telegram. So making sure that you ask questions. That's why if you notice a lot of Instagram posts, sometimes they'll say comment below, what are you going to do today? What are you going to buy today? What is your outfit today? So, and when people engage, that's when, you can like, you can reply, you can share. So that's those are the few ways you can engage your followers.
Got it. Got it. I hope the audience also take down all the notes. I think Sherilyn has been like sharing everything she knows to us. And let's go into the second question. So we have this question from the floor, which is, can we put YouTube link on the IG highlights?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I don't think you can put it in a highlight. The problem with Instagram in general is that the limitation is that you cannot put a lot of links, and the only link you can put is really link in bio. And that one, you have to make sure that you use, some sort of software to actually make sure you can post multiple links. Because some people, when they say link in bio, they only have one link for it. So every time you post new content, it has to change the link, like YouTube link to website to signups. So if you use, there are a few free softwares out there where you can actually make sure that your post actually has link. So the link is tied to the post itself. So you don't constantly have to change the links. So let's say, for example, you want to post just a YouTube video promoting the YouTube link, then they can go directly to the post. Two softwares you can use to do this is called Link in Bio. It's under the software called Later. And secondly is Linktree. So those are the two softwares you can use to actually diversify the links you can put in your bio. But unfortunately, you cannot put in your highlight.
All right. I hope Sherilyn did answer your question. And we have the other questions, which is, are the hashtags put in the IG also SEO on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and vice versa?
So it does help the, I wouldn't say it's more, in some ways it does help SEO, not in the same way that it does for YouTube. So YouTube SEO, which is essentially search engine optimization, basically it helps your video surface when you type in the search bar. So hashtags in YouTube and in Instagram works differently. In Instagram, what it does is that when you click on the hashtag, it also suggests multiple other things which are connected to that particular hashtag. So let's say if you're a florist and you put, hashtag Mother's Day. So if people click on that Mother's Day hashtag, then it surfaces other interesting content that is related to Mother's Day. But in YouTube, it's different. YouTube SEO is not just hashtag, it's actually things like your title, your description. So things where you are able to type in more text, it's not just the hashtag. Okay, so the SEO works a bit differently, but definitely important to put hashtags with your, with your Instagram content and also your Facebook, because whenever people click on that hashtag, then they can have, it's like a group. For example, if you are a business and you sell different products like female clothes and male clothes, if you hashtag female clothes and they want to search for more, when they click on the hashtag, they can find more things related to it. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, got it. And we have very last question, quite long, which is, how often should I be posting on respective social media platforms so that audience will not get fatigued, spam, and have negative emotions on the brand itself?
Right. So I think before, there are a few ways to answer this question. And I think one is to look at, firstly, what social media platform you're talking about. Because, posting on YouTube, which is a long form video, is very different, for example, than posting on Instagram. Because Instagram are just pictures, they are short stories. So that requires a little bit more, a little less effort. Okay, so I would say that the frequency depends on the type of social media platform that you're using, number one. Number two, I would also say it depends on your capacity as a business, because realistically, if you're a bigger company with a bigger team, obviously you can dedicate more time and resources because it takes time. Even if you're just posting something on Instagram, one, you have to create the content, you have to create the picture, and if you want to create a video, so all of those things, when you use Canva and all that, that takes already a lot of time. So the bigger team you have and the more capacities that you have, obviously you can post more. From research that I have done, Instagram is generally about once or twice a day. But that can be very taxing for small businesses and entrepreneurs, realistically. So I would say, one, you can create original content, but two, you can also repost from other accounts. So that's the beauty of Instagram. You don't necessarily have to constantly recreate original content all the time. You can repost from related accounts which can relate to your audience, which you feel like can engage them. I don't think posting more frequently would necessarily annoy or irritate your target audience. It's not the same as email marketing. I feel like email marketing is more pushy than social media marketing, number one. Number two is also the type of content. Are you just promoting your business? If you're, so it doesn't matter if you have higher frequency, but is a varied type of content, meaning your content can be inspiring, it can be fun, it can be engaging. So it's not just about promoting your business. So I would think rather than just focusing on the frequency, I would say take a look at the social media platform that you're using, look at your capacities as a business and be realistic about the time of resources and time that you can dedicate. And thirdly, looking at the type of content that you're actually posting. If it is varied, I would say that higher frequency wouldn't harm and invoke any negative emotion by your audience.
All right, thank you so much. And I think, Catherine, you would just get the answer from Sherilyn. All right. And before we wrap up to the end, I think I have this opportunity because I'm here to moderate Sherilyn, you. And I think I would like to ask one last question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
All right. So as the, say, service category or service line, right? We will also definitely using social media as one of our platform, our tools to, just share out what are we doing. So what is your tips or your advice to all these services company, whereby now pandemic, we can't actually do anything physically, but from social media, we can actually create different content to attract and get connected to the audience. Would you like to share with us?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the question, Zoe. So, even my services are actually, I'm a service business myself. So I would say that what could be potentially helpful when you think about social media is you can actually post out tips. So if you follow my social media, I will post out tips on digital marketing. I will post out tips on coaching. So you can actually give people information, before you actually, again, think about what kind of content to post, you think about what's the goal here. What are you trying to do for your consumers? How are you trying to engage them? Are you trying to, post something funny so so they find it entertaining? Or do you want to, post tips because you want to be helpful, you want to inform them, or you want to, promote your business? So as a service industry, you may not be able to showcase products, but you can share tips to be helpful. You can share even behind the scenes, right? I was advising an events management company, and a good way to actually engage your followers is show what are behind the scenes. What are people doing from a day-to-day basis? One of the tips I shared on Instagram is you can actually do a takeover, because you can actually have different staff members take over. For example, if you're in education services, you can actually have either staff themselves post stories about themselves, or you can have students, have testimonials. Testimonials can be quite powerful. So testimonials are a way to validate your business, because you inspire other people. You're like, oh, actually, you validate your business for them. They're like, you show others that your previous clients have found you helpful. So that is indirectly promoting your business. So testimonials can also be a powerful way to showcase people what your business is about. So to sort of wrap up, whether you're a services or a products company, it's primarily important to think about what is the goal behind you trying to post on social media. What do you want your audience to take away from it? And from there, let that guide you on the kind of content, the frequency, the kind of social media, and who you want to target.
Yeah, awesome. And you know what? Just now we have audience from Catherine. She said yes to you. Thank you very much for the awesome sharing. And we have Isabel as well, saying that thanks for great sharing, Sherilyn. Great, practical, and quick to apply examples. I think most of us, the audience, love your sharing and your tips to us. And I also get a quick quote from your session just now, which is social media is to connect, not to promote. I think this is really a very good quote to just remind us not say never, but not too much promoting, but to connect with our audience, especially during these times. And before we go into the end, maybe I will just invite Sherilyn just to give us the last sentence you wish to shout out to your audience or to us. Anything you want to tell us?
Sure. I would say definitely embrace digital marketing. It can be very powerful. It can scale your business and promote your business in ways that you have not envisioned before. So, even though it might be intimidating, I think starting with digital marketing can really help your business.
All right. Thank you so much, Sherilyn. What a sweet moment, sweet evening with you. And thank you so much for all the audience who actually stayed up throughout the session with us, with our speakers today. And that's all for Biz channel today. And we will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much. See ya. Bye.
Thank you, Zoe. Bye, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Bye.